Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. I'm so excited because today I'm telling you all about my new book, the book that I wrote that is out there in the world and you can buy it. It's there. So yeah, my book is available online if you would like to purchase it. I wrote a book. I don't know how to start. I don't know how to start this video. In 2023, I decided to write a poetry book. I've been writing poetry all my adult life as a therapeutic way to kind of work through big feelings. As a Pisces moon, I feel a lot of feelings. And I've been through a lot of shit in my life, a lot of crazy shit in my life. So I wrote a book about it. It's kind of memoir-y, but it's through poetry, so it's not so, you know, direct, though some of the poems are very direct. So I'm really excited for you guys to get your books, to read them. I'm so excited to hear what you think. I have like a Goodreads account. I'm like looking on Goodreads and I had my first review and it was so beautiful and so nice, and so I'm just excited. And I just wanted to tell you that I have a book out. You can get it. So my book is called Dark Moon, New Moon. I have my proof copy. So there's this gray band on this book, but it's not going to be on your book because this is just to say, hey, you can't sell this. This is your proof. So this is just my proof to see that it printed okay. So this is the cover. It's beautiful. The cover was done by Mitch. I'll leave his link in the description. He's an artist. He does so good. And then there's like a back. That's crazy. My author photo is done by my friend Kat Woods. If you're in the Kansas area, I definitely recommend them. This is already the back, what the back says. Dark Moon, New Moon is an evocative exploration of the depths of the human psyche and feminine experience through poetry and prose. From heartbreak to hope, from despair to pleasure, Dark Moon, New Moon takes readers on a journey through the underworld where LunaSeranova is the psychopomp. I'm smiling like I didn't write this, like I didn't sit there for an hour and try to figure out how to explain this book. Divided in two parts, Seranova vulnerably bears all to her readers through the deepest trenches of the dark moon and into the first glimmers of hope of the new moon, reminding us that even in the darkness there is always beauty and hope to be had. And then I have a little bio. You guys know who I am, so I'm not going to tell you who I am. And then it starts, and then it's a book. So, like that said, there are two parts to this book. There's Dark Moon and New Moon. How freaking pretty are these? My formatter, Robert Greene, is it Robert? No, Robert Harrison. I'll leave his information down below. He's with Seneca Author Services. He formatted the book and did this little inner artwork stuff, or found it. Gorgeous. I love it. So, Dark Moon is the first part. And then the second part is New Moon. And so and also I do want to note, I know that this is not an accurate representation of the dark moon. And I, for God's sakes, know that this is not an accurate representation of the new moon, okay? But these were the art he had, okay? Okay, and I am a self-publishing, low-budget girly. This is the best I could do. So I just wanted to say, this is not a witchy informative on the specifics of the new moon. This is just art, okay? So, but I think it makes sense. It's fine. It's fine. But I was like, I know someone's gonna see that because I know I would see that and be like, what the fuck? But yes, so I know that that's not a correct visual representation, but the poems are, okay? So the first part, Dark Moon, is kind of more of the darker poems, more of the poems that, yeah, I wrote in my darker time. And there's a preface that you can read that'll tell you essentially this. So the Dark Moon one is a little bit dark, okay? It goes through like some of the harder parts in my life, and it kind of progressively gets worse until you reach the new moon, and then it's gonna be the hope and love and beauty in the world. I don't want to talk too much because you guys can read it, but I wanted to share that with you because I really like that concept and spent a lot of time thinking like what to name it, how to organize it, if I wanted to do, you know, like parts and how many parts, sections and things like that, how I would format it, how I would arrange them. Those were very important things to me and I wanted to make sure it was done really well. And that is what I ended up doing. I had a lot of different names for the book, but I think Dark Moon, New Moon was perfect. And it's simple, but it really gets the point across. And yeah, a lot of people ask me if I have a favorite poem. I think I probably do. I don't think I've really fully thought about it too much. But there are poems where I would, you know, take a break from editing and then I'd come back and see it and be like, damn, bitch, you wrote that? That was good. I really like Pomegranate. I posted that on my Instagram. I really liked Pomegranate. I mean, there's so many I like. And there's a lot of poems. I want to say there's like 60 or 70 poems. I'm not sure 100%. I've got some poems about California and leaving California that I think are very, I don't know, tender to me, I guess. A lot of the poems in the new moon, so the second section, I really like because they represent really sweet parts of my life. And yeah, there's so many good ones. I'm so excited to hear your guys' favorite because I know that everybody receives poetry so differently, and you know, even if I write a poem with a specific intention, poems are like mirrors, so you're gonna see something from within these poems, and I just love seeing like how people interpret the poems, and although many of them are very straightforward, but I think interpretation and connection is so unique and individual, and so I'm really looking forward to seeing how you guys interpret them, your favorite ones, and things like that, because yeah, making art's so crazy because you make it and you're like, who knows what people will think? Who knows how this is going to resonate? And yeah, I'm just so excited. So my book came out yesterday, and as I'm filming this on Wednesday the 5th, so it came out yesterday on the 4th. And of course I planned it with the Venus Kazemi, all my astrology girlies out there. I was very particular about the timing, and so that's kind of funny. So it just went on sale. It's on Amazon. You can get the paperback or the ebook on Amazon. It's also on Barnes & Noble too. Yeah, we love it. We love to see it. I don't know what else to say. I'm just really excited to share this with you guys. Always wanted to write a book, and like this was a very crazy creative process, and I self-published, so it was so much work. It was a lot of work, a lot of learning things for the first time and taking walks whenever I started to have a little bit of a breakdown about things going wrong or not knowing what I was doing. And so yeah, it's been really good. I've had a lot of people ask if I would do a video on the self-publishing process. And I would love to do that if any of you are also. I think I have 2 people say that they wanted that, so I will definitely do that if you guys are curious. It was a very cool process, a lot of work, but it's really cool. It's really nice. And I'm such a control freak with my art that it's nice to have such a hands-on, you know, kind of situation. And I feel like it was such a learning process too, because I had to learn in the parts where I was working with others how to use my voice and you know, not be such a yes girly, you know, and say like, can you do that? Can you change this? And reckon with like the fear of being, you know, too controlling or whatever. My therapist had some really great words about that. She was like, girl, this is your art. You're allowed to be a little bit of a control freak with it. And that was really reassuring. So I liked that. So I felt like there was so much growth that I had within the creation process, you know, and the poems in themselves. Every poem I wrote was such a cathartic and, you know, therapeutic experience. And there's some poems that, especially in the Dark Moon, like I talk about a lot of like sad things that happened in my life, and a lot of things that I don't talk about because, I don't know, it's easier to talk about things through art. And so it felt very freeing to like talk about my story and to share things that happened in a way that felt safe and contained and but also vulnerable at the same time. And I just hope with this book that I have a story I told on my Instagram live because I went live on the release for like a little midnight release party. It was pretty fun. And I had said, like, I was talking about how within the editing process, and the formatting. There was a poem that is very vulnerable, and I was like, should I keep this poem? Like, maybe this is too much. Maybe this is too dark, too much, too vulnerable. Like, I felt like a lot of resistance coming up, and I was just like, ooh, I don't know. I don't know if I should release this one. Maybe I should take this out. And then I really kind of sat with that feeling and thought about it, and it's kind of antithetical to do that, because the whole idea of the dark moon, new moon within my poetry book is to show people that even if you have the darkest of the darkest moments, like even in these really dark moon phases of your life, there's always a new moon that comes after it. And I realized that you kind of have to be vulnerable, because I don't know, I want people to see like, oh wow, I feel these really big feelings and so does Luna. And like, that makes me feel a little bit better. You know, like I'm not alone, you know, like, because I think that it's really hard sometimes. We have these people online that we really look up to, and I always love seeing that they're just real people, and they also have days, you know, where they can't get out of bed, and they also have gone through really, really, you know, challenging moments in their lives. They're not these like perfect figures, right? So I kept the poem in because I was like, it just, that is honest, and that is a vulnerable and real thing that happened. And it just goes to show you can have really horrible times, and you can have a new moon after that, and all these beautiful things happen. And you sometimes go through these really dark moon moments, and it's hard, it's easy to forget that the new moon will always come, okay? And so I hope that's what this book does, is reminds you that even in the darkest times, there's always a new moon, okay? Because life is cyclical, and we're humans, and we're a part of nature, and just in how the moon goes through phases, and her dark moon, and then has her new moon, and then has her full moon, you know, we have those same themes in our lives. And I know you can look at some of my older videos and literally hear me say, I'm just in a dark moon phase in my life right now. I'm just in a dark moon phase. And I think that's okay to acknowledge that and accept, like, yeah, I'm just in a dark moon phase, but literally what comes after the dark moon, the new moon. So we're gonna be okay. So that's my spiel. I hope that made I hope that made sense. I don't think there was anything else I wanted to say, just that I appreciate all the support from you guys. It was so fun chatting with those of you on Instagram Live and celebrating the book. I made a cake. I'll put a picture here. I made a cake. I live on Cake Talk now. Like when I'm, you know, scrolling through my phone, I love getting on Cake Talk because it's so relaxing. And I'm like, I could do that. And then I do it and I'm like, it wasn't that easy. So I made a cake because it brings me a lot of joy and was really fun. Wasn't that great. I mean, actually it tasted really good, but I have a ways to go with my cake decoration skills, but we'll get there. But yeah, so it's been a really fun week, and I'm excited to continue celebrating this book and to start hearing your guys' feedback and what you thought and your favorite poems. And he's just been really nice. So thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for your continued support, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.